welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Oh, I'm so tired. We're so tired from the Global Game Jam.
No, we're all pumped.
We haven't actually done it yet.
We're pumped from it. We're projecting ourselves 4 days into the future when we will have just spent 48 hours making a game at the Melbourne Global Game Jam. We're very excited for it. We had a great time. My time frame is all over the place here.
Yes. So based on the last couple of years, we've had a good time at this year's 2020 Global Game Jam. This is the Wednesday before the Global Game Jam, though, so we're going to do some, click pitch today?
Click pitch?
Yep, so click pitch is a game where we've each got a random word generator on the count of 3, 2, 1, click. We're going to click refresh, take those words, throw them at each other, come up with a pitch for a game design, and then when we don't like it, we throw it away and we start all over again.
That's the game. Let's do it.
I didn't really say this to you before, but I reckon we should go with the extra wrinkle of this has to be able to be done in a game jam.
All right. That's probably
it's
good
practice
warm-up
for us.
Yeah, practice for us to do the Global Game Jam last weekend.
Yes. 3, 2, 1, click.
Let's do it. Whipping.
Crescent.
Whipping crescent. Okay, well, the first idea I had probably wouldn't be able to be done in the Global Game Jam, which was a VR game where you're somehow like whip it using a whip to then like fling yourself around and maybe hooking onto the moon. I don't know. Crescents. But let's scope it down, cut it in half.
Scope it right down.
Scale it
Scope
down.
it right down.
Scale it back.
Down. Okay. So, crescent. So, one of the diversifiers that I was reading up about is like using the weather to actually determine something that happens in the game.
Okay.
What if we could actually find an API that you could find out the current phase of the moon of the area that you're in, and just display that's the phase of the moon that it's in. So that handles that. And whipping, I like the idea of VR, but instead of whipping as in a Indiana Jones whip, you're whipping as in cooking. Whipping up.
So this is a basic cooking game where the phase of the moon affects your cooking in some way?
It
it's
could
a purely
affect,
visual
or it's just
thing.
pure visual thing.
I guess if we're going game jam, then you might want to just throw something like that in just to get the diversifier. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of it affecting the. You literally have to play this game different times of the month to get the high scores. Like something about maybe you're making a souffle. That's something you whip, right? Whisk. Mm-hmm. And it's such a delicate souffle that the tidal forces of the moon, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I don't think the moon's tidal forces change across the month, but whatever. We're going to say that the tidal forces affect like the structure of your souffle in some way. Maybe it's a wear souffle.
Or the eggs that you're actually you're dealing with came from a were chicken and have been fertilized accidentally.
Okay. That's got some weird implications. If it's a human that turns into a chicken on the full moon, who fertilized it?
I'm talking about a chicken that's a were something. I don't know.
It's aware of something. It's just a sentient chicken. It's like, don't eat my babies.
You know what I'm talking about. The chicken itself got bitten by the were whatever. So
it's a chicken that turns into a wolf or something.
Or
whatever.
A pigeon or something like that. So it's a were pigeon.
A were pigeon. And then I guess the gameplay is just a were human, did you say?
Yeah. So it's a chicken that turns into a human like 3 times a month.
But so
I'm just picturing that it's about this amazing chef who only comes out like 3 times a year to like or 3 times a month to demonstrate these amazing cooking techniques, but the rest of the time he's actually chicken.
If he then makes souffles and uses eggs, then there's just more weird implications. That's like the people who like make stuff from their placentas. All right.
3, 2, 1 click. It just got weird.
It just got weird, yeah. Carefulness.
Loosening.
Oh, okay. I like the idea, and again, VR. And
okay.
I think we're all on VR. I think we're both on VR because we are hoping to do a VR game this last weekend at the Game Jam.
What do you mean we are going to? We did a VR.
So I was thinking like a plumbing game where you've just got sort of a set of pipes and...
Okay, you went in a slightly different direction
you're sort of
to me, but that's okay.
the pressure a little bit, and then, yeah, there's some sort of delicate loosening and tightening that you have to do to sort of solve a puzzle or make something happen.
Okay, yep. Where mine was you're a good Samaritan helping people change tires. So,
okay, yep.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Gotcha.
But it's all about sort of, helping as many people as you can in like a time limit sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm sort of picturing this now actually as a top down. Yeah.
Yep.
And maybe you can start like recruiting people as well, like because it's a bit of a plate spinning game, or maybe you could even go multi and do like an Overcooked sort of thing.
Ooh, but because you said VR, I'm sort of seeing that you're almost like a over-the-top sort of guy, sort of able to point and I mean, you send your people in the right direction. I
love the idea of any sort of like God mode VR thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sure. Okay, and so it's just like, do all these people just start busting tires like in this one spot, and you have to. It's like, okay, you set that person to jack up their car, and then you need to go over to like help the other person out, and then by the time you've done that, the person's jacked up their car, so you can take the wheel off. Like, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, like,
if we had time to actually, like, this is stuff that isn't required, but it's a nice to have, given that we're going to be dealing with a lot of that this weekend. The nice to have is the story element of the police have laid a spike strip out for like for a police
criminal
chase.
Yeah. Yep.
And criminal. But the problem is they didn't close down the road, so all these people got popped tires.
Yeah, okay. I like it.
So it's all about who do you help? Do you help the police fix up their car because they accidentally ran over the spike strip, or do you talk to the old lady who is doing a bang up job of like changing her own tire, but
ooh,
she could always use
something.
a bit of a hand.
Okay, all right. I think I've got the plate spinning aspect a bit as well. You can keep the tires and patch them. And so there's a management aspect of you've got like one or two, depending on sort of different things. I don't know exactly how the numbers would work, but like you've got one or two spare tires at a time, and if you patch them well enough, then you can replace someone else's tire with that one.
Yep.
And then you've got theirs, and so then there's some patching to do. But like while you're patching it, someone else is getting frustrated because you're not helping them on the side of the road.
Yep.
And so if you can get that going well so that you've got a tire ready the next time someone comes kind of thing, then it's that sort of timing a based thing.
And the nice to have in the next version is difficulty levels where you get different sizes of tires.
Different sizes of tires, yep. I think you can have
monster
like a monster truck comes through. You could have an 18-wheeler come through though as well, and like so they might have one pop tire, but maybe they've got two spares. Like that's how you get like an extra one or something.
What, you steal it?
Yeah, probably. Or maybe you can make a deal. I don't know. Like there's some trading or there's something. There's some way you get the tires so that you've got them ready. And yes, different size tires. And I think you can... So what happens if you screw it up? Do you see off in the distance just like all the crashed cars of the ones that you haven't done properly? Like
I'm just picturing...
like it's looking down from the top for the whole like unless we did the VR one, but like I like the idea you finish a level and it just pans up and you just see all the crashed smoking cars that you haven't that you didn't do right.
Well, what I'm imagining is you have like the car driving off and you hear like the tires sort of fall off and it just scraping along the ground, and you sort of, if you manage to look over in that sort of direction, all you see is like this massive particle system just flying, sending sparks off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Yeah. Sorcery.
Apology.
Ooh. Apology's a tricky one. Social sort of social sort of things are hard.
We'll go with this. We'll go with this then.
Okay.
Union.
Sorcery union.
Yep. So
all right.
I'm thinking again.
So you're trying to unionize.
Well, no, I was thinking union as in marriage.
Oh, okay. I was going like that the sorcerers are sick of their bosses giving them bad shifts.
So I think this is again a management game, but all that you have to manage is you just got to keep busy the nosy uncle at this sorcerer's wedding. He's a magic user as well, and he keeps on wanting to like turn the bride into a frog or something like that. So you've got to keep him busy until the union goes through.
Okay. What through what means? Through sorcery, presumably. Do you have different spells that you can distract them with? Do you like set the flower girl on fire?
Yeah, I do like the idea of having sorcery yourself, even though I was sort of going along the lines of, no, you're just a regular Joe, so you're like trying to figure out what you can put in front of him, and you're like a ball of yarn and throw it to him. Just other things. And then you realize, oh no, that's for a cat.
Ungents, regents, spell ingredients.
A mirror. Just, because he's a very vain sorcerer.
Sure. I feel like we should be able to do more with a good word like sorcery.
Yep.
But, fuck it, 3, 2, 1, click. Mirage.
Coffee.
Ooh, a coffee mirage. You're someone trying to get to work and you're like caffeine deprived. And you just keep seeing coffee mirages.
Sponsored by Starbucks.
Yeah. Either that or you're marooned in the coffee desert. Like it's a desert of coffee beans. Also sponsored by Starbucks. Corporate game. I'm picturing are you running like a coffee shop called Mirage Coffee?
No, I like the idea of being marooned and not being able to actually find coffee. I'm thinking it like a platform game.
Okay.
So like your old cool spots and all those sort of things. In that,
all right.
This is the Starbucks game in which you're trying to get off this deserted island to a coffee shop to get a wonderful Starbucks coffee sort of thing. So everything right. in the level is like coffee related. In each level you can find like a couple of different sizes of cups. You can find...
You get like the special coloured cups for different holidays.
Yep. You got coffee beans, but no grinder. And I think this is the thing. The collectibles in the game is the coffee bean.
The beans, yep.
I think this would actually be kind of a fun... Almost cosmic adventure sort of.
Yeah, well. Now I'm trying to think of you. Often these platform games will have some sort of novel mechanic, whether it's through combat or traversal or something like that. So, all right, and also,
okay,
the only mascot for
eat a
Starbucks
coffee
I can
bean.
think of is the mermaid. So,
Yeah.
do you even have feet, or are you?
Oh no,
split-tail mermaid?
you're one of the patrons of
Oh,
the,
so you're just a rando.
You're a rando wanting to get
All
back
right.
to Starbucks. Turns out if you eat a coffee bean, time slows down because you've got that huge
Yeah.
injection of coffee.
Sure.
So
okay.
that's the
So you can
mechanic.
use up some of your coffee beans that you've collected
Yep. For a pure hit of caffeine.
for a pure hit of caffeine, which will let you like dodge. So is there like bullet hell aspects then that you'd need that for?
Yeah, I think there's some crazy platforming segments in which for a fact that this particular enemy is also on coffee. So it's moving incredibly fast. It's just this blur running right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have like a coffee bean, you can just pass right through that area, sort of thing.
Oh, I like that idea of using it to counter certain other enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea of they create like an impassable barrier because they're just this pure caffeine being.
Yep.
And that's how, okay. And they're basically just an obstacle at that point.
Yeah.
That's cool. I do like that.
So it's basically like a mimic of your moves. It just moves so fast it's always right in front of you, sort of thing. It's like this blur that's sort of just blocking you right where you're trying to go.
Well, I'm just thinking it could even be like an aspect of the level, right? Like to get past this point of the level, there's basically a blur blocking you. And like this might just be the first time you see it, obviously.
Yep.
And you think, oh, what's this barrier? And eventually you get the ability to like eat the coffee beans and it slows right down and you see it's just this critter like running back and forth.
Yep.
And now as long as you've got that caffeine in your system, you can just wait for it to pass and then get by it. And so that can like be a platforming aspect then,
Yep.
to be able to trigger that off, get through a section. I'm almost thinking an Ori in the Blind Forest sort of thing now, where that's one of your moves to get through certain sections, that have these caffeine beasts.
Yep.
That's cool.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think you could come up with some cool synergies around different types of caffeine-based abilities then, and have it be maybe even a bit more of like an Ori-style Metroidvania-esque thing.
Okay, so what sort of weapons does this guy
This
have?
is going way beyond scope for a Games in Game, but anyway. Okay. Coffee shits? No.
Constipation.
Yeah, until he gets the coffee, yeah. I don't know.
He's just got a gun.
He's just got a gun. I mean, maybe it's more around dodging stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I do like the idea of it's kind of like a Mario-esque thing of, yes, you can jump on things' heads.
Yeah.
But you can also dodge, like just by jumping over.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question. I know this doesn't happen that often in like typical platform games, but this does happen quite a lot in Metroidvania games.
Okay.
Do you want full-on side-scrolling levels, or do you want single-screen sort of levels that you do something and you can exit out in maybe one or two different ways?
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, look, I think that is sort of the difference between, a constantly scrolling sort of deal, where it's more about reflexes of the things coming towards you versus a more exploration-based thing.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of would like to see what would happen in a Metroidvania sort of game where it's all side-scrolly stuff. So in order to go back through this one area, you have to go through like a longer level section. But I don't know.
That could get tedious. I think often what those games will do is like you'll have a side-scrolling section, but then once you get to the end, like you get whatever power to then be able to get through that sort of section way quicker.
Yep. Okay. Let's click again.
Yeah.
Orbital.
P. PEA.
Okay, so back in episode 5, there was a
Pizza Delivery Pro.
Pizza Delivery Pro, a game. I'm thinking this is many years later. The orbital station has been shut down.
Okay. I like this, continuing the canon of a 3-year-old game. Love it.
Yep.
Okay.
So, your character, have just bought, like, for surprisingly very, very cheap, almost like...
An orbital food cannon.
Yeah, basically an orbital food cannon, but you've decided that instead of pizza...
deployment system.
Instead of pizza, you've decided that you want to provide fresh veggies.
Okay.
From this orbital food cannon. And so now it is, Garden Fresh Pro.
All right. And so just to recap, for those who maybe haven't listened to our entire backlog, Pizza Delivery
Why not?
Pro.
What have you been doing?
And I mean, come on, this is only episode 5. At least listen to those. But Pizza Delivery Pro was a game where you were in an orbital platform around the planet, and basically, like, pizza bases would fly past, and you'd have to use cannons and weapons to, like, fire all the ingredients onto it and somehow, like, shoot them down through the atmosphere, which would cook them to whoever ordered them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm thinking for fresh produce, maybe what you're also doing is tapping into a new market. You're turning this orbital food cannon away from the Earth and shooting this into deep space to the alien planets who need frozen frozen vegetables because they freeze in the deep cold vacuum of space.
So you get given like a set of coordinates that you got to fire it off towards, and It's all about timing. It's almost plate spinning of, okay, we've got this delivery ready. We can't shoot this for like 33 seconds, but we've got this one that we can shoot in 15 seconds, but it's going to take us 10 seconds to get it ready.
Yeah.
And it may mean that we miss the 32-second window after we shoot.
I like that because it's all about like the relative positions in space of when you've got a launch window for particular orders. Okay.
Yep.
I'm picturing this almost as another VR game where it's actually the game is about like packing the orders in some way and loading them into the cannon.
Yeah, I'm sort of seeing it like an Overcooked sort of thing in which it's like, okay, in this particular crate or, space capsule as it were.
Yep.
You've basically got like a make bench sort of thing in which you've got, frozen peas, frozen carrots.
Well, they're not frozen yet.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like a packet of peas, packet of carrots, and a couple of ears of corn that you got to then, pick up and sort of you can throw them into the capsule.
Into the capsule, yep.
And then teleport yourself into the cannon to be able to fire it off.
Right, because you still have to like aim and get it within a certain window. Yep. And then you've got, and then I like you can look at a screen and you've got like the different packages that are in transit and like how close they are based on how close on the timing and the aim you got. Like there's nothing you can do about it. It's just, it tells you.
Oh yeah. Once it's fired, it's like,
yeah,
this is one of those things where, I'm picturing that all these ships have escaped Earth. This is all backstory that we didn't get time to put into the game, but it's in the manual. If you remember the way that Nintendo used to do it, is
absolutely.
It's all written in the manual. So anyway, the reason why you're sending,
so you're not firing at other planets, you're firing at like colony ships or something.
Colony ships, because it turns out that like they really underestimated how much food they needed. So and
I like the idea that due to like climate change, they can't grow food on the Earth anymore. So you've had to convert this space station into this huge like hydroponic grow op, basically, for fresh vegetables and weed occasionally.
Yeah.
And then you're left behind basically to like supply these colony ships with their fresh fruit and produce.
Yeah.
That's really funny. I wonder then if
it's all written in the manual. It's not actually
maybe this is
conveyed in the game.
Far, especially for any sort of global game jam. But I like the idea of you have to like manage what you plant and stuff as well to like supply and demand and that sort of thing. you've only got a certain amount of spots. Maybe you can expand it out. This is like the full version of the game that after the Game Jam version gets popular, you start basically to do a bit of a management thing where you can put extra like segments onto your space station to have new crops and stuff.
But the Game Jam version is literally you've got bins that have unlimited numbers of carrots and peas and whatever. And
or they get delivered at certain rates or something. I kind of like the idea of just a big like tube that goes across to this bin and like dumps out, thousands of peas and then goes over to the other one and there's all these ears of corn that come out and
I like
cool.
it.
That's right.
I like it a lot.
That's awesome.
I do like the idea of just being able to link back to old games from our back catalogue. So people have to now go back
there are a lot of them.
Listen to episode 5.
All right, 3, 2, and click. Chili.
Telling.
CHILI chili. Is this the video game version of Hot Ones?
Oh god. How would that work?
I feel like it would have to be some sort of almost like visual novel or like narrative. Like it's just a single dialogue tree, especially if you're doing it, in a Game Jam period. You write basically a single dialogue tree that's got some sort of either mini games or the right dialogue choices, or like you choose when to take the drink of milk or whatever as you go through this dialogue and eat the different hot wings.
Oh god.
I don't know if there's much more to it.
I don't know where the actual game is in this other than the fact that it's a visual novel.
Yeah, I mean it's
I was trying to think how could I bring VR into this, and I don't think I can.
Well, you could do it in VR. I mean, you could do it in VR. It'd just have to be like the dialogue would be printed in world space somewhere, and you choose when to eat these things by grabbing them. Or when to take a drink. You've got like a little heat meter or something. Maybe it like stops you from talking or stops you from like having certain responses or something.
Question. Are you the guest or the host?
No, I think you're the guest. The host doesn't have as many interesting choices.
The host just says the same things every time.
Yeah, I think it's basically
what happened here?
One branching dialogue. It's the same every time, but it branches based only on, or pretty much only on, when you eat the hot wings.
Okay.
Because like each dialogue choice or something maybe has like a minimum and a maximum heat level, so you can branch based on how like unable to speak you are or something, or
so
emotionally volatile you are based on fucking your capsicane level.
There is a mini game that happens as you eat your chicken wing.
Yeah.
And depending on how good you do in that, depends on how good your response to the chili is.
Yeah, yeah.
So in other words, if you're acing this thing, you've actually
then
done
you get all the
really
good
well
responses. Yeah, you get to keep all the good and fun responses. And if you're fucking it up, then you get like one
word answer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think it's basically a comedy game. Branching dialogue with a internal heat level that affects what branches you can select.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Me like
click. Yeah.
3 to 1 click.
Cooper.
Blade.
Blade?
Yes.
All right. Now I'm pretty sure Cooper, and I'm going to double check this, but I'm pretty sure Cooper makes barrels.
So is it a COOPER?
ER,
not KOOPA.
No, not a Mario thing. Although we can go that way if you've got a good idea. This is someone who makes barrels. Now, I feel like there's some fun fourth wall breaking video game commentary you can do about the guy who makes all the fucking barrels.
Yep.
That someone is breaking.
But you know that he wants people to break them because then it means that they're buying more barrels.
Okay, this is the person who's seen the market for putting barrels around, charging people to buy their barrels. Look, a barrel would look great there because they know someone's going to come through and bust it up thinking there's something inside. A video game character is going to come through.
Okay, so this is like not quite a narrative game, but it's a game based in the Zelda universe in which you know that Link has just come to town.
I mean, you could go pretty generic.
Yeah, the hero has come to town, and you're seeing that this is the perfect opportunity. This is the guy that you've been waiting for, sort of thing, and I'm thinking that it can be like just a small narrative game, sort of like the single room, sort of visual novel in which he's talking to his friend. You've got like a little mini game putting barrels together and all that sort of stuff. But depending on what sort of happens in your game depends on whether the hero comes into the shop and literally busts all the barrels.
Yeah. Okay. So it's all right. Yeah, it's just set in his barrel making workshop.
Yep.
And like store.
Yep.
And yeah, you've got regulars who come in and buy barrels, and you start hearing about this person who's come through and just like is busting up all the barrels. It's like,
yep.
Andy, you're in again. Didn't you just buy like 7 barrels yesterday? He's like, yeah, this fucking guy. And
he called himself a hero.
It's always a white guy, isn't it? He came through, he just smashed them, 1 hit each. Took my gems or whatever. Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll sell you these ones at half price.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go into the back room and like where you're paying off the hero.
and that's the like the good or the bad ending, depending on which way you want to look at it. And if you really stiff the hero, as in you don't give him enough money, he comes through and destroys all the barrels.
It destroys all the barrels in your store, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a shakedown sort of thing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this is a total, like, organized crime situation. Mm-hmm. Protection money for new barrels. All right,
okay, pretty drawn quick.
Yeah. I guess the thing about game jam style games is we get through them quick.
Yeah.
Get to do more in a session. All right, what do you got?
Chuck
Brink. Chuck Brink. Superstar roller skater.
Okay.
It's a game set in the like late 80s.
Yep. I'm thinking it's like a Tony Hawk's style game.
Yes.
But it's an 80s themed roller skating.
Lots of neon bright, like you get all the great 80s fashions that you can unlock. Yes.
Yeah, there's different game modes that you can do. Like the multiplayer game mode is basically like a version of British Bulldogs.
Different game modes you can do, like skate in the opposite direction, limbo, stop under the right sign and get a prize.
But there's also tricks that you can do, like not fall on your ass and go around not hanging onto the side. That's a trick I never mastered. I always had to hang onto the side.
Not breaking your wrist when you stop by running into a wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm now picturing that, how in the Tony Hawk games, all the tricks you could jump up high and all this sort of stuff. I'm picturing that this hero can literally only jump like an inch off the ground.
Every time you try to do a trick in this game, your character just falls over. We worked really hard on the trying to get you balanced and then slipping over, as your feet slide out from under you animation. So we want to make the most of it.
Literally, the second that you jump, your character just ragdolls. You have no chance.
It's just about the least amount of bones you break.
Oh my god, it's just turned into pain again.
Yeah. Okay, I do like Chuck Brink, though, as some sort of 80s. Maybe he's an 80s themed, like maybe it's current day, but he's stuck in the 80s. We kind of did one like this stuck in the 70s, I think, but this is now stuck in the 80s.
Yep, so I'm picturing that he's got like a boombox on his shoulder and he's sort of like skating around.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the intro scene of the game.
That's the whole game. Although actually I do like kind of almost inspired a bit by Untitled Goose Game in a sense, where it's more just you have this area, somewhat open area that you can roller skate around. You're pumping out your jams, and you get like tasks to do to either like annoy or help people or different things. And it's I'm sort of thinking like a 3/4 view top down sort of, but maybe a bit more zoomed out than Goose Game. So you can, because you get a bit of speed up and see where you're going. Okay. So you got like little areas that you can like grind and all that sort of stuff. So it's basically like a fast travel from say, one area of the town to another. Yeah. That'd be good. Yeah, you like some nice traversal stuff. But yeah, the main gameplay is almost. I guess I'm trying to think of the tasks you would do. Like they might be around just like timed fetch quests and stuff, almost like a Crazy Taxi vibe-esque sort of thing, a bit maybe.
Yeah, I like that.
But because then it is mainly about like the traversal and getting around the town and finding like maybe you can like break open secret areas through places. Barrels. There you go. Bust through barrels to get through places. Like open shortcuts between places. Yeah. And I feel like the visual style.
Collect the SKATE skate.
Yeah. Collect the ROLLERSKATE. And I feel like the visual style would really sell this. Like it's got to really embrace that like hypercolor neon sort of vibe. Yeah. Leave like fucking rainbow trails behind you and shit.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Love it. Well, Chuck Brink, that is probably the name of the episode now.
Perfect. 31 click.
Crowding.
Plumper. Now, is that one who plumps? And if so, what is plumping?
How I know? How did I know that that's what you were going to actually ask? What is plumping?
How I plump? Apparently, according to the dictionary, a plumping is an act of falling heavily.
Okay. Okay. Definition of the word plumper. An object carried in the mouth to fill out the cheeks.
I did see that one too. A plumper. So maybe you could play a squirrel.
Ooh, yeah.
What was your word?
Crowding.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense. A squirrel with limited plump space. Limited cheek space for plumpers.
Kind of like Untitled Goose Game. Going around just finding all the nuts.
Maybe this can be a more sort of, again, going with the game jam style thing, a more basic kind of like side on. I'm sort of pitching a side on, like being able to clamber up trees and fences and things, and then maybe it's almost a puzzle game because you can only hold like two things in your cheeks at once or something.
Yep. Yeah, I like that.
And having to get things to the right places,
So it's all about, okay, I've got two nuts in my cheeks. So I've got one in the left, one on the right. But I need to pick up that key so I can unlock the door so then I can get these two nuts through. But where can I hide these two nuts?
Yeah, maybe there's maybe there's an aspect of the the fox, the sheep, and the grain problem where like you can't leave two things together without supervising them, or you can't put them in your mouth.
One of the nuts is a weird chicken.
One of the nuts is carnivorous and will eat Oh, well, that would mean it would eat you. What do you call one who's nutivorous?
Nutivore.
Legumivorous. I think some sort of squirrel-based game. You know, one of those squirrel-based games. There's a
like
formula.
the hundreds of squirrel-based games out there.
You know, Squirrel Fighter 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basically that.
It's a match 3 game.
Yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1, click.
Yep.
Frost biting.
Field.
Now, the fact that I didn't get frostbite, I got frost biting, feels like a very active term.
Does.
So is there some sort of, like, vicious snow creature?
Okay, so you're a weird sort of vampire in which everyone that you bite, like, instantly gets frostbite. So if you bite someone on the neck, they die. If you bite someone on the hand, like, their hand falls off.
Oh, it's only... Okay. Okay. Interesting. I don't know if we go directly, like, the actual condition of frostbite and maybe just go some sort of icy vampire.
Okay, some sort of icy vampire. Okay, so in the manual, it's got written that many, many years ago, this vampire was, you know, sort of buried in a coffin in his castle. Well, that was so many years ago. The castle has now fallen down, and it's now sort of like just a field. Mm-hmm. And the conditions are now right for this frost vampire to come back to life.
Okay.
And he comes to life in this field.
Exposed to the elements.
Been exposed to the elements.
Exposed to the elephants.
There's been some, like, I'm thinking a dig has happened in this area, and sort of uncovered maybe uncovered the coffin.
Yep.
And then it's sort of 9 p.m. on this night, and the sun has just set, and the coffin door has just fallen open, and it's now you've got to try and find like something within the next 12 hours or whatever, or before the sun rises, sort of thing.
Okay. I'm picturing. Okay. Well, what's coming to mind, and this isn't fully formed, so maybe it sucks, but. Pun not intended. But I'm sort of picturing almost like a top down, but like a screen, but like single screen based sort of thing where, almost a bit like, did you play that game Minute?
No, I haven't.
Anyway, that was like that. I'm not suggesting we use their mechanic of like you've only got a minute before you die, which is quite interesting. You should check it out. I'm pretty sure you've got it.
Half Minute Hero?
No, it's just MINIT.
Oh, yes. Minute. Yes, yeah. I do have
fun little thing where, like, basically you keep the items and stuff that you find each time, which then lets you get further within that minute, or like change where you start, but you've always only got a minute to do things.
Cool.
And so a lot of puzzles. Anyway, my thought was more around.
I'm trying to think, why haven't I actually played this?
You should. Yeah, my thought was more around just sort of the way the screens are laid out in that way. That you've just got these different screens around, and yeah, your goal is to sort of explore these areas. Maybe there's some, like, I don't know, would there be some stealth mechanics or something where, you know, you can kill people, but if you're a frost vampire, like if they bring out their fucking torches and pitchforks, then they're going to melt you or something. Or you can't get too close to, like, the settlements or the houses because it's too warm. Like, you need to stay out in the snow.
Okay.
Something like that.
I know, I kind of like the idea that there's something that he needs so he can go back to sleep.
Okay.
That he has to find. Well, no, I think basically it says it all in the manual. I don't know why you haven't read this. I'm picturing.
I've got a pirated copy.
So you never actually got the manual.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah, I'm just sort of seeing it as like he really doesn't want to be alive. He hates, you know, turning people to frost.
Oh, is he trying to die? Is he trying to move on?
He's trying to die, but it turns out that like he's an immortal vampire, and this one artifact that he had on his coffin that was removed, by this dig, that basically keeps him in effectively like a eternal slumber.
I wonder if there's something around the ice we can do there, though. Like, if he thaws out, he like goes into stasis, but eventually it gets cold enough that he comes back and it's like, fuck! Like, I need to find a way to die permanently. Or maybe the goal is just to like get to the equator where it never gets cold enough.
The end. 3 to 1 click.
Yeah. Clown.
Principal. Now.
Oh, no. Is it PAL or PLE?
PLE.
That's not as fun.
Fine, you can take the PAL.
Well, let's think about both of them. Because actually, I do like the idea of like figuring out, the clown's creed, their principles that they live by.
It's a game where it's all in VR, and you're a clown having to basically make this thing really, really fun. This circus really, really fun. So you're throwing, cream pies at people and,
hang on. Did I might have brought this up before.
Mm-hmm.
This is an idea that I've had in my, like, Google documents for years. Since before we started this podcast. And it was the idea of a far future world where the only thing, like, their entire religion and everything is based on clowns.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's these, like, giant structures of these, like, clowns. It's a bit like Brutal Legend is for heavy metal. This is for clowns.
Okay, yep.
And so obviously they are going to have principles. Like they've based their life around the clowning arts or their interpretation of such, 1,000 years in the future.
Okay, now I'm just picturing like you go to church and the guy behind the lectern is dressed up in funny clothes, white paint, and
I found it. Story about a world where clowns are actually wearing ceremonial costumes to honor the ancient civilization where priests wore big red noses, floppy shoes, and painted smiles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure when it was added to this document, but it was a long time ago. At least 3 or 4 years ago. Anyway, I finally got to use it. So yes, I think I like this idea of the priests, like the high priests, just being, putting on their clown makeup in a ceremonial way. Everyone puts on their red nose. Oh yeah, it's all like it's like a fucking like a hymn. Oh yeah, it's like all.
Okay. And as this story about what happens when all of a sudden an evil clown comes to town, and of course none of these people have coulrophobia because
no, they worship it. They banish anyone who is afraid of clowns.
And I'm now seeing that as like in this world, this evil clown comes to town, and basically people are starting to get scared of clowns again.
Right,
and,
so they see it's like to them it's the second coming. It's like, oh my god, this is a real clown. His makeup doesn't come off, or something. I don't know. How would you differentiate a real clown from like the clown priests? Do they just they don't know how to be funny? Like this clown's actually funny.
I'm picturing that you fire a seltzer bottle right into their face, and nothing happens to the makeup or the nose.
Okay. It's this grotesque figure where all the like typical clown stuff is actually part of their face. They've got this big spherical bulbous nose, white pasty skin, big red lips, orange stringy hair goes down to their shoulders, giant feet.
Yep. And I'm thinking, once you fire the seltzer bottle into their face, like, all that happens is after, you stop firing it, you just see the face has got this massive, wide grin with these sharp, pointy teeth.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, shit.
I love that. It just, like, gets bigger and bigger. Like, it starts off with a fairly, like, straight face. And, yeah, you fire the seltzer bottle in its mouth. It just stares at you as this grin on its face starts and just gets bigger and wider and pointier.
Well,
and then you throw a pie at its face and it just, like, opens its mouth and swallows it whole.
I think what happened before you did the seltzer bottle, is you did the cream pie to the face, and then you seltzer bottle to humiliate the clown.
Yeah.
Because, it's getting washed off because one of the things in this world is that, you don't wash cream pie off your face for, like, 30 seconds until after you say, like, some...
So, yeah. There's some, like, ritual word that you need to say when you get hit by a cream. I'm just picturing now, it's like at the end of this service. It's like, okay, you turn to the person next to you and just slowly jam a cream pie into their face. And, like, let it drip off and you say,
oh, no.
Ha 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 ha.
I'm just now imagining that, like, there's, like, these hyper religious people who, when they get married and like the first time they have sex, it's basically a cream pie to the face, very sensuously, and
yeah, it's cream pie, not just to the face. Hey. Whew. Tie themselves up in that endless handkerchief. And the confetti flies.
Little light spanking with the oversized shoes.
Yeah. And then this fucking demon clown thing comes along. It's actually the thing that they worshipped all this time, and it's horrifying.
How are we going?
One more, I think. 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, one more.
All right.
3, 1 click.
Yeah. Obstacle. It's a very generic one, but
obstacle relay.
Obstacle relay. Okay, so we're mixing sort of an obstacle course with a relay race of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, do we go straight down that? Like, is there an aspect of, like, a ultimate chicken horse sort of thing where you're putting obstacles down?
Yeah, but in 3D.
And then the relay, I wonder how the relay aspect comes into it then.
Well, I think what's actually going to happen is, you got teams of 4 teams of 4. So that's 16 players.
Okay.
It's an online multiplayer game.
Okay. Yep.
Your first player, a la your Tomb Raider sort of thingy, you're sort of going behind your character.
Okay.
And you're trying to get through the obstacle course, and you get back around, you tag the next person, they get to go.
Okay.
But one of the things that you get to do as you go through is, like, you get to place down, like, a trap or something like that is going to hold up other people.
Up the other people.
Yeah.
Okay. That could be interesting. Yeah.
It's all about strategically, you choose your trap first, and then, as you go, you get to sort of, maybe the first go round, you're not going to do too much. So you maybe put a banana peel down or something like that.
Because you've got a limited number, probably.
Yeah. But your other players on the team sort of get to watch where your character is going.
Yeah, so they know where the traps are.
Oh, and they can also sort of see, oh, that's a good place for a trap. This is a good place for a trap.
Right.
And so it's almost like the first player is like your recon sort of player.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if you can create some sort of synergy between the traps that you can only do across multiple runs. So there needs to be a bit of teamwork there where, like, one person puts, like, a bounce pad down.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next person puts, like, a grinder at the bottom of it or whatever. Right? But if the other team has seen that, like, maybe they can block it and put down, something that nullifies it, or a different thing that, like, helps them, or there's some sort of strategy there around realizing what the other person's done, and maybe you waste some of your time, but you're going to help your next runner.
And I think in sort of Ultimate Chicken Horse parlance, you continue building on it.
Yes. Yeah. It stays around for...
Yeah.
Like, so you probably don't get just one run through. There's, you get points, or it's like a certain amount of runs through under a certain amount of time, like whoever gets to 20 or something, do you know what I mean? Like,
I think there's certain aspects that you can sort of put down that enables you or other players of your team to like interact with the environment at the same time as well.
Yeah.
So maybe you can put down a trap that is literally a paintball cannon sort of thing that you can
like mark them with.
Well, jump into and physically fire stuff at people to try and stop them from moving and
like slow them down or something.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some stuff there. I think let's do one more because that one wasn't interesting enough.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Fun stuff. All right, Grindstone
Case.
Grindstone Case.
Yep.
This is the name of someone again. I'm Grindstone Case, private detective.
I'm Grindstone. Case Grindstone.
Case Grindstone. Yeah.
It was a dark day when she came into my office.
Jamie,
I don't know why.
Jamie Anvil.
I always go to bloody, a noir scene.
Okay, Grindstone. Who uses a grindstone? I guess like a weaponsmith.
Yep.
Or
ooh. Okay, so you got a weaponsmith, whether they be, someone who's like sharpening weapons and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And you play in sort of like a Skyrim-esque world, or, a world in which, it's a slightly medieval, so there's more, weaponsmithing and all that sort of stuff happening. You play basically like the first ever detective.
The first ever detective. Okay.
Yeah, who's basically no one knows what a detective actually does. You're there sort of researching what happened to this weaponsmith's grindstone. Like it's been stolen.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. I liked that idea. What came to mind was that you're trying to solve a murder and everyone's just like, someone chopped his fucking head off. Like, and you're like, yeah, but who? Like,
what do you mean, who? He's dead. It's like, yeah, but someone did it. Are you sure?
This just happens sometimes to us peasants. He was a noble. We don't care who. It's like, but don't you want justice? I don't know that word.
I don't want just ice. It's justice. How did you know it was spelled Justis?
You can't even read. You're a peasant with low education. Just the way the nobles like you. Okay.
I don't know why that got me. Just the way the nobles like you.
It's true. Still true. Political. Okay, grindstone. So you find... So there's the case. Is this like
it's case of the missing grindstone.
Case of the missing grindstone. I was thinking like he keeps a grindstone in a case. It's like a travelling weaponsmith. And the case is empty. Well, that's why they started calling them cases. It's the first detective. There was an empty case.
This travelling weaponsmith, he's got to town and he opens up the case and the grindstone is missing. Yet it was here last night. He was demonstrating his goods to everyone in the market last night.
Yeah, everyone saw. And so your character's like, oh, that's the case of the missing grindstone.
All the backstory is written in the manual. Okay, so you've come to town.
No, I think you've come to. You're not the weaponsmith. You're trying to solve it for the weaponsmith.
No, you're trying to solve it for the weaponsmith. Maybe you're the ex sheriff or something like that, or the ex-captain of the guards. And,
yes, I like the idea that you're like a disgraced captain or something.
Yeah.
So you've been kicked out of the castle.
And the reason why you're disgraced is because you kept on trying to solve all these murders that were happening.
It's like, we're at war. You can't
and they're
solve
peasants.
every murder.
We don't give a shit.
It's trying to hold, the nobles accountable for just like running over peasants with their horse. Now he's
oh god.
Now he's a hero of the weak and downtrodden. Literally, in some cases, when it comes to nobles' horses.
It's how they actually got the name Downtrodden.
Downtrodden, yeah. We are inventing lots of words in this game. It's like an etymological wonder. Okay. I think that's it.
And it's all narrative, point-and-click stuff.
Sure. I don't care about gameplay. It's funny enough without it. So we're gonna finish. If you want to find us online, you can go to podchaser.com/bitstorm. Check out all our past episodes. Leave us a review for this episode. Tell us what you thought. Tell us what other words might have been invented in medieval times by the world's first detective. We are also part of the 8-Bit Collective, and this is a group of pop culture podcasts, with some more joining soon, very soon. And go to 8bit.net and check them out. They're all good people with fun stuff to say.
Go check out one of our favourite groups, the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network. They're an awesome group of like-minded individuals who just want to provide you with lots of gaming content that is from Australia and surrounding areas. Just look for the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network on Facebook or at AGP Network on Twitter. And finally, we'd like to thank us from Kuradust for the song Mount Defiance off of the album Containment Failure.
Thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott. I know there was a weird chicken in there somewhere.
Baka!